DreamHack Masters Winter is brought to you by Intel, Corsair, Monster Energy, MSI, and U.S. Air Force.
It's time to take a trip over the pond to North America. Time to get some NXCS underway. My name's Dinko, joined by Blair for this one. We've just wrapped up a marathon of European matches over here on the B stream, but now we're going to continue with some North American action. It's New England Whalers taking on Mythic.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. I personally am just looking forward to finally have the opportunity to cast my man Davey. I've never had a chance to do that. I'm happy to cast them, and it's going to be a good game. I feel like it's a very even. New England Whalers being the slight favorites, but having lost B Will to Triumph just very recently, I'm not sure how they're going to be faring here against Mythic.
Yeah, well, New England Whalers have obviously been making a good bit of noise over there in North America throughout 2020. We could take a look at that bracket for the North American side of things. We did see a matchup yesterday, Blow. We got to see some North American action go down over in Group A. And yeah, it was a long game. It was very interesting. We've seen the Rugrats win a map number 1 over in the mainstream, but then ended up losing 2-1 to Chaos. But Rebirth and Triumph were where we were at, and that was a real tough game for both teams.
That was a tough game. It was a tougher game for Triumph. They were the big favorites. I think all of us called it was going to be a 2-0 for Triumph. Instead, Rebirth steal it away. Curry getting, I don't know if it's revenge. I don't know if he got kicked or if he got benched or he left on his own accord. But you know, he gets to win over his old teammates who were firmly the favorites in that matchup. So fantastic stuff coming in yesterday. And of course, we have Group B, where it is going to be Team 1 versus Team Yeah, and that's going to be going on over on the main stream, where I want to watch, I wish I could watch that game and watch Maniac just lose his head.
Well, the wonderful thing is you guys at home can do both. You can watch us here on the B stream and simultaneously watch the main stream. We will be both conducting our games at pretty much the same time. But I'm looking forward to the game we've got here on this stream. I'm looking forward to seeing what Mythic have to offer us. They're a stream team coming into this, as many call them, but like you said in the green room, this team are no slouch, right? They've got some very gifted individual players, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they can get done. But you guys can vote for who you think is going to win in the Twitch chat below. I'm sure Mythic will have a big following, but if you want to say the New England Whalers are winning, hashtag new in chat and hashtag myth for the Mythic boys. Blair.
Yeah, I'm assuming Twitch chat's going to go the way of Mythic for obvious reasons, considering some of the personalities on the team. You got Adren, you got Flom, you got Davey as well, and the player for me to watch out for the side of Mythic. And I won't lie, I haven't really had a chance to watch too many of the games, particularly being the time zones for me personally. But Katie is a player I've been keeping an eye on stats-wise. She has been the best player for this team. Not by far, but substantially. I think she, alongside, looking at my notes here, alongside Flom, have been the 2 heavy hitters for this team.
Yeah, we took a look at New England Whalers here, though. Let's take a closer look at how they're going into this. And feeling good. I would say New England Whalers have made a big splash in North America this year. You know, recently there's rumors, I don't think it's even a rumor at this point, that their organization will no longer be supporting them. They feel like their market value has risen quite a bit. Going forward, I think when we take a look at these guys, I mean, they have done a lot of work going into this year. You can see some of the results they've got. Recently, not a great performance against Team 1, but they've done a lot of work throughout this year. And I really like this team and the face, but they've got a little bit of a different change up now, Blair. They're going to be playing with Fang instead of B Wills.
Yeah, and B Wills was probably one of the highest rated players, right? Of course, we have the usual suspects. Got DJ, got Pawn Lone Rampage, as well as as long as Ben Leet. I'm just going to call him Ben. I'm sorry, of course, he is the IGL for the team as well. There you have it. they have struggled. Like, they lost, we saw the results as well. They lost recently to Rugrats, a team who have surprised quite a few people, right? They took a map over Chaos as well. So it's a team who are struggling a bit, but maybe they could surprise.
Yeah, maybe they will, but we're going to hear thoughts on their team going into this one, really getting insight as to what is happening over in the New England Whalers camp.
Our expectations versus Mythic, I mean, we expect to win. We played them in MDL playoffs, and we know they can be quite random, and it's hard kind of to prepare for them. We tried to prepare for them in MDL playoffs, and they kind of just did random stuff when we played them, to be honest, and nothing that they did in their demos.
Flying, look at him. In lead though. Does he have time?
Don't think
so. That's it's a little close. Oh, he's got it.
Yeah, wow.
We are very prepared coming into DreamHack Masters Winter. We've been scrimming nonstop for the past week and still going forward, and we're ready for all the competition.
Well, it's all about putting the work in to try and get over some of these negative results right now. And honestly, I'm looking forward to seeing if they can do it. This is probably one of the perfect tournaments to get it done in, right? You don't have the big EGs, the Liquid. You don't have all these top teams in North America. This is a good chance for them to take down some of their American comrades in this matchup.
Absolutely, and that's something which we mentioned yesterday as well, and a great opportunity for the likes of New England Whalers. But then again, you can't count anyone out. You have Mythic, they're a team who, like I said, you look at the stats itself, they've looked quite spectacular. Not Team Spirit though. I want to talk about Team Spirit.
Not again.
It is, of course.
we just went through an entire show of.
Imagine having to play that best of 3 and then jumping in with another game right now. That would be inhuman.
Well, Team Mythic,
6 players as well.
You love their team, right? You know these guys: Flom, Poland, Kitty, ZNF, Davey, and Adren, right? We've got 6 players in this team. They frequently change their roster up based on availability. And honestly, Blah, look at this team. It's definitely a team that have a very fun vibe about them, right? They're good at CS. That's the main thing here, though. They're very good at Counter-Strike. And you take a look at some of the players in this team, and you talked about it. Kitty is the standout. She's one of the highest rated players for them in this team, and she's been really impressive.
She has, and she's kind of like the firepower for this team. You got Flom as well, and you got some pretty big brain players on that team. You got Adren, you got Davey. I mean, Adren, ex-Liquid coach. What else do you need? And also, quite a veteran when it comes to the NA scene as well, as a player too. So if you look at individuals for Mythic, they're known players. These are the famous players. So I want to see what they have in store for us here today.
Yeah, and I want to hear the thoughts of Mythic heading into this one to really see what they're at coming up against New England Whalers.
There go the Molotovs, but not to contend with this pistol, of course.
Well, the expectations of this DreamHack Masters Winter is to win it all, and I think it's going to be relatively smooth sailing for us.
Towards them, Davey goes with angles.
How are we preparing? Well, I'm going to be honest, not at all. We haven't played together ever since we've lost out in that MDL playoffs, but we would have won that game easily. But being the nice team that we are, they were having internet problems. We agreed to reschedule, and then we took it easy on them after we switched it up to the next day. I think if we had kept playing on that day 1, we would have beat them. So I think we'll just beat them again this time.
Down his Bontron there. Again, it's Vanity on 8 points of health. Now Plants on default in the open. Body block coming through, and Davey gets 2 kills lined up.
Well, it's never really a positive when you hear from a team that they are not preparing at all coming into the DreamHack Masters, but nonetheless, that's the Mythic way, right? They're a team that show up and they play on the server, they adapt, they figure out what their opponents are doing. Davey, obviously, I think he's just talking right there, Vlad. I don't think he believes what he's saying.
Always nice hearing from Mr. Davey. You have the videos coming up. I won't lie. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know which way this one's gonna go. I'm not gonna pretend to know much about NACS.
I think we'll forgive you this time.
Sorry?
I think we'll forgive you this time heading into the veto, but
thank you. I like my map vetoes. I like my map vetoes. I like, just brainstorming. All right, which maps are gonna go for? But honestly, over here, I don't know what's gonna happen. I do believe you're gonna have a restart of the map veto there. Okay. Mythic actually banning out Nuke. I'm just gonna say, if you're not gonna be practicing too much, you don't want to play maps like a Nuke or a Train. But that being said, Mythic they have looked pretty decent in Train. I think in a couple of the past couple of games against some pretty decent opposition, they have managed to get the win on that particular map. So maybe you might be seeing a Train coming up, perhaps. No Nuke or Vertigo though. Personally, I don't want to see any more Nuke for today. Maybe not for the next week.
Yeah, maybe next month or 2021 perhaps. But Nuke and Vertigo coming out as the bans. Train coming in as the pick from Mythic. You've just discussed how they were looking pretty solid on this map, so they've decided to go with it.
See, I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you do. And we're going to get to see Flom popping off for the AWP, hopefully, on this map. And we can get to see what New England Whalers send this one, Black.
Well, it's going to be on Mirage. Interesting. I'm just gonna talk out of my ass here, Dinko. I'm not gonna pretend to know much, but considering you're Mythic, you know you got a map pick of Train. It's Mirage. It's kind of a puggish map if you know what you're doing decently. And you know, if I'm Mythic, I'm feeling pretty comfortable here. Bear in mind, again, New England Whalers. They are not playing with one of the best players they had. They've lost B-Wilt to Triumph very recently, so they're going to be playing with Fang, if I'm not mistaken. A player I won't lie, I'm not very well aware of. But the fact that they've lost such a massive component of the team in the form of B-Wilt is going to be a bit problematic, as we have the Twitch vote. Surprise, surprise, Mythic 91-9.
Well, the Twitch vote certainly favoring Mythic heading into this one. After the break, we'll be seeing Mythic take on the New England Whalers. You don't want to miss this, so don't go anywhere. Mythic versus the New England Whalers. It's time to go to North America. The Counter-Strike continues for the day. And while Mythic have come into this one saying they haven't prepared at all, but we'll see how they play on the fly, Blair. I'm looking forward to seeing this team in action. We know the players on the team. We know New England Whalers have been struggling a little bit. This could be a match where they regain their confidence, or it gets completely shattered. Who knows? But we'll find out by the end of this.
We will indeed. The only recent results where I'm trying to take a look at and gauge where these two teams stand would be the MDL Season 35. We had Mythic come in the third, fourth position. We saw New England Whalers they were the finalists. They were not able to get the win in the end. I think they lost their team, yeah? If I'm not mistaken, the Brazilian team, or was it the other one? I forget, but it's okay. It's reasonable.
I think it was Team 1. It was Team 1.
It's Team 1. Okay, there we go. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be jumping in on map number 1. It is a map pick coming in from Mythic. It is going to be in Train, and we're not going to be wasting any time running straight on in. It's going to be Mythic with Davey, Smoke, and a Flash. The rest of them, Glocks and Kits. Davey with the P250. If he does get taken down, it can be picked up by one of his teammates. It could be kind of like a mini raid boss. Pawn alone. He's not alone in that inner bomb site. It's a 3-man stack.
Oh, going alone, finding himself KD. Flom turning around, finding the headshot to start off this pissed around. Blow for blow to start things off. 4v4 at the start of this one. And we take a look at how things are proceeding. Mythic are going to take that 1-for-1 trade and be relatively happy with it. They're going to come away from B, though, and fine. Well, I love this. Look at the proactive play from him. He's not sitting back. He's going to go get all that info, pushes through the brown holes, realizes they've completely left B, and his whole team can just stack this A site.
That's a brave, ballsy play coming out from Fang. It's going to pay out. Like you said, there's no one towards Pop Dog either. Although, are they going to be expecting them to coming out from Ivy is the question. They are seeing the bomb over there. 3 players gathered up together. Davey with a P250 at distance. He's got a smoke and a flash. And he's going to be deploying it now. The question is, are they going to be aware of this Ivy play? There's no one looking towards Ivy, Dinko. Not a single player. DJ, he should be careful. He needs to spin around any moment right now. He's going to get shot from behind. And the timing is perfect from DJ. He finds both of them. That couldn't have been better. Can he find a third is a question. He won't. He's going to make his escape. But it's Cooper left alone in a 1v4.
Well, the bomb starts to move forward. Cooper just caught out, sent away, and it's New England Whalers off to a good start into this one. And just to take a look at the Mythic lineup, which team is actually playing today, because we weren't completely sure when looking at that pregame. We've got Katie, Adren, Davey, Flom, and Cooper playing for this team right now. And I'm looking forward to seeing what this team can do. There's no Poland in this time. And I'm really looking forward to seeing if Mythic can show up with this roster. Who knows? But New England Whalers off to a pretty good start. The pistol round picked up for them. 2 MP9s in play for Master DJ, and a scout out for Pone alone alongside an M4 for Rampage. Oh, that nade could have been sick. Just a little bit unlucky on the timing.
Could have been, indeed. The timing of that pistol round, that was just nuts, right? DJ looking the wrong way, but timing could have been perfect. Should be an easy mop-up coming in here for the side of New England Whalers. And from Mythic, I don't see anything happening here. Just Glocks, a couple of P250s, a flashbang. I can hear my neighbor's dog. I don't know if you could hear that, Dinka, but my neighbor's dog's just popping off here.
It's having a great time. It's excited. Mythic versus New England Whalers. It's hyped. It's ready to go. North American Counter-Strike. And well, hopefully it quiets down a little bit, but nonetheless, under a minute in play. Mythic just taking their time, using this as a little bit of a pause, I guess. You know, just kind of figuring out what they want to do going into this first gun round. Maybe trying to get a plant as they gather up into the lower site. Ready to go on through. It's Ben Leet just looking for this peek out to the right. Flashbang at the ready, and here comes the dive. So send those players on in. Rampage is at the ready. Ben Leet taking a couple of kills between them, and the bomb is left back on the floor as well here. Flomp dropped, not a single kill for them. No bomb plant either. 2-0 for the New England Whalers. And we go into the first gun round for Mythic. They can get the AK-47s out here. They can get the utility in play, and they can certainly start to look good here.
2 MP9s, getting 3 frags. Bit of extra cash. Oh, that's kind of, there's going to be a bit of a bonus round here for New England Whalers. They got the Scout, MP9s, FAMAS in the hands of DJ. And for Mythic, AKs galore. 5 AK-47s. Number off smokes as well. Pawn alone. He gets a tag. The nade sails on in, but Adren survives by the skin of his teeth. Mythic, are they gonna mix it up right now? That's a question here. They've been spotted out. A couple of players spotted out, and you have Pawn alone behind the smoke with the Scout, and he's got 2 players nearby to help him out if needs be. Molotov is gonna still keep the players at bay. Smoke's a dead giveaway as to where Mythic are heading towards. But the bomb stuck over towards Ivy. The remaining players in Mythic, they need to make their play. And that's Flom with the bomb! Flom? That's not the play, but Katie and Adren and Davey, they strike simultaneously, and suddenly it's turned around. It's a 2v3, heavily favoring Mythic. This pawn is on 15 HP.
Katie, now moving forward, has collected 1 kill into the round so far. A little bit more out of this one, and somehow Pawn alone taking that kill on the Scout. I have no idea how he's flicked that hard, but nonetheless, shutting down Katie out of this round. Davey and Cooper. Now 2v2. Mythic letting the time tick. Taking him away. Rampage has got into the site. He's going to be looking for the defuse here. Cooper over the top of the brown train. Trying to take these fights down in towards the connector, and the headshots in. Pawn alone out of there. And Rampage now into a 1v2. He needs to try and pick this up. He's found one onto Davey. Now taps again, pulling Cooper, but he's not peeking. He's not taking this fight. Rampage right down the final 2 seconds. Keep pushing forward, and Cooper just gets into cover time and time again, and Rampage runs out of ammo.
That was very, very close. A potential clutch there, but Cooper tucks his head in. Stays alive for as long as possible, clutches out the round. Mythic, they're going to get 1 on board. However, it was the bonus round for New England Whalers, so they're going to be able to purchase back into this round. UMP for DJ, 3 M4s, and a Scout once more for Pawn alone, and Pawn alone showing that he doesn't really need the AWP to deal out the damage. It's good enough for the Scout. The UMP, or the UMP, as some people like to say. Playing towards the Pop Dog area. Ben. Playing a bit of a dangerous game there. He's all alone. If he loses a duel and gets taken down early, that in a bomb site is going to be just empty of any CD presence. I like the setup from the CDs though. They're playing very, very upfront and personal, knowing that the utility is kind of sparse. They have 1 smoke remaining, a handful of flashbangs, and a nade in hands of Ben, and just a 1 kit. But Mythic aren't really showing or giving anything. Adren, though, he's going to open it up. 2 quick kills. A trade does take place, but it's going to be enough is the question. Is DJ battling it out, and he will escape with his life intact.
Oh, a good kill from Cooper. Yeah, it's just taking down Pawn alone, and now we're into a 4v2. A 2-man advantage in play for Mythic. DJ looking up with the top. Cooper coming through with the AK-47, and Davey with the headshot. 2-2 on the board. Mythic finding themselves the round win. And now we're 2-2 evened up. And this T side, right? You talk about the T side of terrain being one of the most difficult halves within modern Counter-Strike. And right now, Mythic are doing a really good job at competing early on. And in fact, they've broken down the money of the defensive side so much, Blair, that they're into a full eco scenario. So this should be 3 on the board for Mythic, no problem. 3 to 2 up. They're looking good already.
Oh, they are for sure. They lose a pistol, lose the eco round, and then you manage to break the city side economy. That's a good start. All things considered. A full stack goes outside from New England Whalers. They do have great pistols. It should be easy pickings for Mr. Dren here. Finds one, spots a second. The remaining members of Mythic slowly inching their way towards the inner bomb site. I gotta say that it is a bit jarring, like going from this happened yesterday as well, right? Going from EU, some of these EU teams to watching NAC or casting NACS immediately without barely a break. It's such drastic approaches to the game.
Yeah, it's a big juxtaposition. Certainly, I mean, all these teams in Europe have been playing against top teams, scrimming against top teams this entire year. The NA teams, there's just no denying, right? A lot of the scene aren't really that developed yet. So in 2020, they have just been in an echo chamber of North American Counter-Strike, not playing against the best of opponents. So the improvements are not going to be that drastic, right? We're going to see teams starting to show up on an individual level. Yeah, okay, they're beating some of these better teams. They're taking maps off some of their top teams. And again, those top teams are not in peak form. They're also scrimming against some of the weaker teams, right? So it's definitely a few question marks beside the NA region right now. And I mean, this is the best we've got right now. And they are definitely solid individuals. I feel like with more development, you can see even more out of these guys.
Also got a discount, even like when Liquid and EG and even Furia went over to across the pond to EU to play recently, right? The past 1 month. The initial games were a little rough, right? They were so used to playing amongst each other, practicing with each other, and suddenly you're encountering all these EU with CIS teams with their brand of Counter-Strike. And they were struggling initially, although they managed to bring it back. It's DJ. He's going to get the opening pick, the AK-47 salvage from earlier. Replies back, Flom finds DJ. There's no one nearby towards mid to help him out. That's a bit of a problem if I'm New England Whalers. Like, you want to have your other teammates playing up close and personal, especially when you're going to be playing Ivy from that, playing Pop Dog from that particular position. Because of that, they do get a trade. Also, Liquid Astralis tomorrow. That's a
game we haven't seen in a very long time, Blair. And it's in a lower bracket, of course.
And it's our day off. I'm gonna probably head on down to a pub, just grab a beer, watch the game. It's gonna be a banger.
Well, you can
especially because Astralis. I shall try. Also because Astralis, can you do it now though? I mean, are you of age?
No, I mean, as in the restrictions, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, true.
Of course I can, Blair. Of course I can. That heroic game.
I don't know,
man.
Listen. Tom said, like, yeah, you can't. Anyway, we'll get back to it later as Davey and Katie opening it up. Ben really needed a kill there. 2v4 if I'm Fang and Pawn alone. I'm just going for the save here. It's really not worth it. Money is grim, and Davey, he's on the hunt. He's looking for more. He's looking to take away these rifles. And the remaining 2 CD players, and they're kind of stuck and trapped in CD spawn. Davey, he spots both of them. And that's going to be remaining members of Mythic triangulating onto the position of New England Whalers. Katie, Fang with the aggression. So they will survive, Dingo. They will hold on to the rifles. Or will they? Cooper's still floating around. Oh, this could get... Never mind. They're just going to stick around there. Not going to push up ahead. But for Mythic, 4 in a row, despite losing the pistol. Great start for them.
Yeah, pretty good start from Mythic. 4 rounds picked up T side of train. They do lose Cooper. Little annoying there. That's an AK picked up now for New England Whalers. But nonetheless, 4 rounds in a row for the Mythic side. Not a bad start on the T side by any means. And honestly, it's been a team effort coming in from them. You can see Cooper kind of leading the charge mostly. But everyone's had their little moments where they've got some of those important kills. Cooper 7 and 3. Closest is Adren on 4. And, you know, it's kind of funny seeing Adren playing again after so long in that Liquid coaching spot. He's back over here with Mythic. Not a bad coaching resume, right? Come out of Mythic, you know, you played with Liquid, then go to a bit of a streamer team, and then you go coaching. Team Liquid, that just so happens to be the most successful North American team, bar Cloud9, winning that major ever. pretty incredible.
Yeah, that's a pretty impressive resume, I won't lie. Also, the fact that they have Cooper filling in for Poland, I feel like that could be a huge deal. He's a very good player. I really did enjoy watching him in the past. And him coming in here from Mythic, I don't know. I just feel like the firepower just got massively, not massively, but decently upgraded. Meaning the New England Whalers, considering they have a new player coming in, they've lost B Will to Triumph suddenly. It's looking a little worrying for the team. Rampage gets the opening kill. Flom with the trade. Look at Katie pushing on and spots a player out. The flashbang's good. She's not able to get the kill. It's still a 3v3, although Ben is bleeding out inside of Connector.
Oh, Pwn alone, that's a good kill as well. Up on top, Ben goes down, and DJ lines up 2 to close out the round. New England Whalers on 3 rounds now, and finally put an end to that 4-round streak from Mythic. Take a look at the money, though, for the Mythic side. Pretty much everybody can purchase up comfortably here. Adrenaline will get a drop on over, I'm sure, but Flom, this is what I want to see. I want to start seeing these shots being landed. Unfortunately, he doesn't win the round, but still getting the shots in.
Well, at least they do get a round on a buy round, which is something which hasn't been the case. Davey just running on out like a lunatic. DJ shuts him down. And Dren's down to 26 as well, so good initial duels. Actually favoring New England Whalers, Pawn alone. The Guardian of Ivy. And it's not like Mythic are trying anything too crazy, right? They're just like winning the duels primarily. They're not being aggressive early on. That's a great flashbang. Pawn alone, despite not getting the kill, is going to get the information. The question is, are Mythic going to continue on this trajectory, or are they going to be falling on back and switching up their plans? But it looks like it's going to be a fake. A bit of a ruse, Dinko, as they're going to be pushing up towards Ivy, while the bomb is going to be heading towards Brownholtz. Cooper, back turn, and both of them are going to be found by Rampage. Goes for the full spray, finds both of them, and the last 2 players remaining are going to be heading towards inner bomb site in a 2v5.
Ben with the MP9 in play. Kitty looking for some action here with the AK-47. She'll be moving forward, looking to try and pick them up here out to the left side. And MP9 in the middle of the bomb site. Kitty looking for the kill. She gets 1 before going down, and it's 4-4. New England Whalers finding themselves the tie-up scoreline. 4-4. Money gone from Mythic. New England Whalers are about to head into the lead here.
Still, I mean, just 8 rounds in, 4-4. If I'm Mythic, I'm still feeling pretty comfortable. They got the bomb down as well, but the bonus money's not going to be enough. Wait, did it get the bomb down? Yeah, they did. P250s. Couple of Glocks. Handful of flashbangs. The primary objective of this particular round is going to be... Oh, that's a chunky nade. Oh, that's a chunky one. It's a couple of splinters. All it takes to take down Flom and Cooper. They're going to come barreling out. Flashbang will be very comfortably avoided by DJ. Easy pickings here for the... Okay, then. A little bit of a TK. It's okay. It's the AWP. It will be retrieved. It's all right.
It's okay, Blur. You know, it's fine. They win the round. They only lose 1 player, and it was actually a team kill, so no one getting any kills on Mythic. That's all that matters. Now the bite comes back in. The AK-47 out for Davey. Yeah, this isn't looking fantastic. I do want to see the AWP out for Flom as much as possible on this map, but with the money kind of being in a weird spot right now, you want to just get the gun rounds out early, and the AKs are fine. I want to see what Mythic do coming into this round. I want to see if there's something different, if they have anything prepared. They said no, but, you know, standard execute. They should all have pretty solid knowledge, so an execute into this A site, certainly a possibility, and they've got that set up and ready to go. At least they threw the smokes. No one's actually going with them.
A bit of a switcher from New England Whalers. Like they have the setup towards, you know, expecting Mythic to be heading towards Brownholtz, and Ben is on the line. Flashbang. It's a little too early, and Ben is so lucky to escape there. He's still going to stick around. I'm not too sure about that. Now Rampage, he's got to try and get a trade, but Davey is going to shut it down. 2 quick kills. and the Execute's going to be coming on in. Are they going to, however, continue its trajectory is the question. Nade's going to be sailing on in. Pawn alone with the AWP. Davey is going to go for the peak, but he's going to be taken down. And Pawn alone being aggressive, there's plays all around, above, below, in front. He's going to find a kill before he finally gets shut down. But now it's 3v2 in Fang's position. This could be huge. They're not expecting this info. He could find both of them. He's got to find one, finds two, and it's all on Flom. In a 1v2.
Yeah, Flom out of there. Fang with the headshot. And that's going to be 6-4 on the board. New England Whalers picking it up now, picking up the pace on this defensive side. They figured it out. They figured out what they need to do. And to be honest, Mythic kind of looking a little flat right now. I mean, the individuals are very solid. I mean, look at Davey just kind of popping off, getting a lot of work done there. But I feel like that's all they have at this moment in time. You see Davey just fully committing out of upper, trying to get that fight down into the lower side. Didn't work out for him. And it's 6-4 for the New England Whalers into the lead by 2. A little bit of a half-buy scenario coming in here from Mythic. They pull out the Deagles. They pull out a little bit of armor. Katie's actually saving for what seems to be an AWP. Going into that next one. She's got 3k in the bank and no Kevlar purchase into this one.
Yeah.
I want to see that AWP out.
That'd be tasty. Davey, though. Spot each other. It's going to drop on down. Fang's going to find adrenaline. Oh! Actually wins that duel. That's big. Ow.
Oh, Rampage. Turning out to the left side. Davey going down, and now it's just Katie left alone. Eagle into the 1v4, dives down, and Rampage that with the kill holds on for the ramp push, and it doesn't really work out too well for her. So it's going to be New England Whalers. 7-4 up now, Blair. Purchase up coming in. The AK-47s are out. Utility in play. And right now, over on that mainstream, it's Team 1 taking on, 9-5. Heading into the last round of the first half. If you want to catch that action, head on over to the mainstream. DreamHack CS.
But stick with us. We're more fun.
Yeah, you can stick with us. I have no idea. Who is it over there? I think it's that guy. Banks, maybe?
Maniac and Banks. Yeah. A bunch of boomers.
Yeah. All the boomers. Are you not the same age or somewhat older than Banks?
We don't talk about that.
But
look, listen,
sorry, yeah,
we can average our age out. We can average yours and mine age out, and it's perfectly
perfect.
average.
Yeah. You've actually found the fountain of youth, Blair, I feel.
It's that Asian Counter-Strike.
You bask in its waters.
I bathe in the tears of Tyloo fans. Well, that's actually kind of disturbing to think about it. But opening kill will go the way of New England Whalers. It's going to be DJ once more, being quite very, very solid indeed. Playing towards that Ivy area usually. And Mythic, they're pretty much telegraphing exactly what they're going to be heading towards. Flom's going to get the kill, though. That's a huge pick under Rampage, but he has been tagged down to 15.
Yeah, that's a big kill from Flom coming through. That actually gives him a real chance in this round. Unfortunately, though, that's not the position you want to be pulling out nades in. And the rest of the team are now falling like flies. And yeah, they're just suffocated right now. They're not really looking to get out on towards the site. It really does feel like their preparation has limited them here on the T side. You can kind of feel how suffocated they are when it comes to trying to actually get out onto the bomb site. They're just getting bombarded with nades. They're getting held in position. And Mythic haven't found a way out yet.
They haven't really done a fantastic job destroying out a utility from New England Whalers early on. If they can do that, and then they can go for like a late-ish execute, maybe then it'll be a little bit easier. But 8-4, New England Whalers, they have recovered. It's been 4 round streaks back to back to back. 4 of New England Whalers. It was like 4 all tied up, I believe it was. My memory's failing me, Dinko. It's early in the morning. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, 8-4, New England Whalers looking pretty solid right now. And it's going to be just the pistols once more. I kind of want to see just a fast play coming into a hidden. But right now, that's going to be Rampage. He's good for 1, but the Deagles are doing some work. 2 quick kills, 2 rifles retrieved. And bear in mind, all the 3 remaining players for Mythic, they do have Kevlar to work with. In fact, Davies even got head armor. And suddenly, this round is looking doable.
And that's all you can ask for right now. When things are not going well, doable is the holy grail. 50 seconds left. DJ has a good position down in Pop Dog. 45 seconds will start to take on, and resmoke coming in. That's what you're talking about, Blair. The fact that they have so much utility lit into the rounds that they can use up. But that is the last smoke that they haven't played. They still have 2 Molotovs, or 1 incendiary, 1 Molotov left with 3 flashes. With 29 seconds left, they can place those and delay even further. And here comes the molly. That's going to hold them back. We're 20 seconds now. They're just holding on. Mythic looking to run in towards this B-bomb site. Flashes at the ready. They're going to use up whatever utility they've got. It's ineffective up until this one. Fine, completely blinded. Davey taking him down as he runs into the site. DJ trying to get the flank on. They have to get that bomb planted, and they will. 3v2 for Mythic.
Flank comes in though, despite the bomb getting planted, but Davey finding Pawn alone makes it very uncomfortable for DJ, but the bomb's not planted for the final player and he can just stick it. Davey's gonna come running in and it's gonna be DJ getting off the bomb. Doesn't matter, he's still gonna get the kill. And it's gonna be round number 9 for New England Whalers. Got a little too close for comfort, but it's okay. They got money and they got the rounds. And just to correct myself, it was 2-0 for New England Whalers, and then Mythic got 4 in a row. But ever since then, it's been New England Whalers all the way. 7 rounds back to back to back. And we're now in the penultimate round of the first half. It's a tactical timeout's going to be called by Mythic for the very first time.
Yeah, it's starting to feel the pressure a little bit. Maybe not so much the pressure, but more so trying to figure out what to do, Blab. Because right now they have not figured out what they want to do in this T side, or at least figured out how they're going to do it. Because New England Whalers are holding them back. Like you said, the utility has been a big problem. New England Whalers have had so much of it to play with into the late stages of each round, and Mythic have been suffocated every time they try and get out. We've seen a pick from Flom, but it's never been enough. We need some sort of playmaker to do something here, and I want to see what Mythic have up their sleeve.
Well, apart from the 4-round streak, they really haven't had much, which is problematic. It is a map pick. Honestly, if they can get to 5 rounds, I think that's enough. I think that's something to work with. But even 4 rounds isn't too shabby if they can convert the pistol, but they don't want to leave that up to chance, which is what pistol round can come down to. Davey trying to go for the pre-fire. It's gonna scare off Ben from his position. Ooh, flashbang. Doesn't blind Pawn alone, and it's very lucky there for Flom to stay alive. Nate will be tossed on in, and they're gonna evacuate the premises.
Pretty advanced setup right now for New England Whalers. They have 1 guy in Pop Dog that's going to be mollied out of position. Fine, happy to fall away as they actually double molly that. I think the timing could have been better on those incendiaries. I feel like they're a little poor timed. You know, you get that first one down, you want to try and get the second in as well, but DJ taking down Adren. He's pushed all the way into T-Con. No control here for Mythic at all. Now they're just running into players. DJ doing a good job at shutting them down. And now it's just Cooper left alone with the open hand. He's taking away DJ's life. And now he looks for all of them. This would be an incredible clutch, but one that is looking incredibly unlikely. Pone alone taking him down. 10-4 at the half. New England Whalers are just so comfortable right now on Mythic's map pick. I feel like they need 5 if they have any chance of pulling this back in the second half, Blur. I don't know what you think about this.
Yeah. They need 5. Because right now it's looking like they don't seem to really have any ideas. They just seem to rely on walking up Ivy, getting a pick, and then going for a play. But I haven't really seen any executes per se. No. Pop executes. Pawn alone is going to win the duel with Adren. I don't know why Katie would take that fight against Diop, trying to get the trade desperately, but it does reek a bit of desperation. DJ will, however, be deleted by Flom, and Davey and Cooper out of nowhere, 3 kills. Pulled out a hat by the 3 remaining players of Mythic. And now they have a very good chance of getting that mythical 5th round, which has been avoiding them for such a long time. But Fang's position and Cooper... How does he know, Dinko? How does he know?
I have no idea how he knows, but nonetheless, Mythic get the 5th round. It's time for a short break, ladies and gentlemen. And when we return in the second half, we'll see if Mythic can claw it back in their map pick, or will New England Whalers send us to the second.
used to lose. Couldn't take another piece of bad news. You're a little more green than blue. Run along my ocean view. I want it all or nothing, all the way. I'm not like the others in this red race. Wish you could hear.
Welcome back to DreamHack Masters Winter. It's the North American division, and it's New England Whalers up 10-5 at the half here on train. We've got one player not leaving spawn. Cooper is not here. He's back. He's back. He's arrived to the server, and New England Whalers luckily not going for a quick play just yet. But finally, they will. Fine's already out.
Nice, already out. 12 and 6. Yeah, replacement. Oh, that's beautiful. Flashback. He got to convert. He's got to convert, and he will. But he runs out of bullets, and he's getting hunted down from behind. But he stays alive, and he finds another kill before he gets taken down by Adren. But it's all a ruse. It was all a fake. As the bomb's down to its inner, and Mythic in a rough spot, and this retakes 3v4, and Adren's down to 10 points of health.
Opponent alone. He's just hiding at the oil train. A good kill coming in onto Cooper. And now David in the clutch. The 1v3. Can he do it? Can he pull this off for Mythic? He's back at the oil train and now all the way back over to Connector. He's found a kit. The information passed on. He has a little bit of extra time, but the time is so far gone. And it's Mythic who will lose the pistol round. New England Whalers off to a good start. They're 11-5 up right now, Blair. This is definitely the performance the New England Whalers would have been hoping for coming into a match against Mythic, right? You want to try and focus up. This is a team on paper that you should be beating. And it's a good time for them to sort of get that confidence up early on and really start to figure out what they need to do with this new phase.
Yeah, but even if they're going to be, even if they convert the this anti-eco and the, so rather the anti-force fire, and if they win that, the following anti-eco, they're going to be up 13-5, Dinko. But we did see it 12-3. We just casted a game. It was 12-3 for a certain team, and they lost a game in a pentuple overtime. So I'm not going to say anything. That's the cue for you to continue talking, Dinka.
Yeah, well, Davey wants to kill over the top of the smoke. Flom is just looking up towards heaven, and while Davey's going to start running up with the MP9. He's looking for this kill. Fine, turning around, Davey goes down, and now 4v4. A minute and 3 seconds left on this clock, and DJ is going to start turning back. All the players in the brown holes trying to figure out what they want to do with the final few moments here. 50 seconds. Smoke deploys down into the B site, and now the attention is from New England Whalers brought over to the A side of the map. Got the bomb on their backs. One going down Pop Dog, down the ladder room. And now they're just clearing all these positions. Making sure that they limit all the spots. They're not going to be flanked upon. They want to get into this B site. Currently 2 players over here for Mythic right now, though. There's a decent chance they might be able to do something. Now the play out to A from Rampage, trying to figure out what's going on towards this side of the map. Maybe even try and get towards Connector, but 19 seconds left. The real push is coming into the A side. They've pulled out of the brown holes. Cooper has connected onto Rampage. The time is starting to really tick. And another kill from Cooper. He's delivering damage left, right, and center. A third kill. Cooper just shuts everyone down. And now Pone alone, 9 HP, desperately planting, but the round is done. Cooper with the 3K. And New England Whalers in their own heads.
Yeah, they really overthought that round too much. And Cooper's like, well, let me help you out by just draining your brain juices from your heads. Absolutely wrecked with a scout. That was so messy from New England. Like, they went for that little bit of a fake. And then they immediately just fell on back and just ran straight into the waiting arms of Cooper with the scout. I mean... Oh, this is messy. They didn't even go together.
It was really messy, man. They had a far better opportunity to try and figure something out than this. This was just a big problem for them. In terms of New England Whalers, if they had committed into the B-bomb site, obviously, hindsight is 2020, but it probably would have had a better chance. Obviously, it was a 2-2 setup on either side of the map, and it seemed like they were half in, half out. I think if they just decided where to go and commit there, that probably would have ended up with success. But it felt like they were committing towards B. Then with Rampage walking out, he said, hey, A looks clear right now. Everybody starts charging down Pop Dog. And because there's 13 seconds left, they can't effectively clear out the IV position. They don't have any utility left. They just left themselves open to disaster, really.
We do have the update from the mainstream as well. It's now 11-10 for Team 1 versus Team Yeah. And that's, of course, on the main stream, the streamhack.twitch.tv/DreamHackCS. Brazilian derby going on over there. Right now, for New England Whalers, after losing that round, they are on a full eco. We're talking about how, you know, they can survive those, if they can win the 2 anti-force and anti-eco rounds. They're in a very, very, very solid position. But yeah, that's a round they should have won. And even if they lost it, if it was a little bit closer, something to work with there. But yeah, that was messy indeed. Katie finds DJ. Although she has been tagged on 6 points of health, she should be playing a much more passive angle. The PD-50 will be retrieved by Rampage.
11-6 right now. Mythic just figuring out what they want to do here on the defensive side. I think some momentum being built up early will certainly contribute to some success here on the defensive side. It's Ren and Flop cleaning up, and yeah, that's the kind of round they need. Just nice and clean, picking it up, making it look easy. New England Whalers going into this next round, well, they didn't get a plant, so their buy is looking pretty weak right now, I'll be honest. They will get the rifles out, Blood, they'll get the AKs, but the utility will be at a pretty low level. They won't have a whole lot to play with, and, well, they don't have an AWP or anything really to look at, so it's going to be very much based on these individual aim duels and hoping that Mythic make a couple of mistakes and allow them some of these easy fights. And, well, there's aggression. Working out for Flom, Davey there as well. Perfect setup. I love it from Mythic. 3 early kills picked up from it.
3 very early kills, and straight through the smoke goes Fang, jumping and gunning. And Flom's gonna win those any time. Well, never mind. He does get taken down by Rampage, getting a little too over-eager perhaps. Bomb dropped out in the open, and Rampage, he needs to land some absolutely perfect shots. Unfortunately, Katie standing out in the open. We'll find him. AWP retrieved as well. Mythic, slowly but surely, is cutting away, chipping away at the deficit.
Yeah, I love that setup to start off the round. It's fantastic. They kind of know, okay, their money's probably not going to be that fantastic. What's a pretty common call when you're down low in utility is to commit to that B side early, right? And we had Davey in the corner. We had the ult from Flom perfectly set up. And, I mean, obviously, they're hoping that that kind of scenario plays out for them. But it's not often that when you do a setup like that, the perfect set of circumstances play out, right? You really want them to rush into that, and they did. And they handled it perfectly when that opportunity came their way. We got to see more of that out of Mythic. I love this setup. I love the ingenuity. We'll see if they can get even more of that as we go into the next few rounds here. Round number 20 coming up, and Mythic are on their comeback.
Comeback is indeed on. Ooh, that is a painful nade. I really don't see much happening here for New England Whalers. The problem is, if Train is a map you don't play that often, it's... You need to have the right protocols, you need to have the executes and whatnot. And the funny thing is, Dinko, Mythic really didn't have much of that on the T side, right? They were just relying on getting these duels. They had nothing, and yet it was their map pick. And for New England Whalers, considering it is not their map pick, T side Train, even if they were like, even if they won those, you know, they converted to pistol rounds and managed to get it to 13 rounds, it would still not be easy. It's a map which can really spiral out of control if you're in the T side, and the CD side, they get going, they have the money, they have the utility, and for you, it's just trying to somewhat crack it open. And I feel like Train can be, it can feel not just claustrophobic in the server, but it can be pretty asphyxiating for you mentally as well. I know some people like asphyxiation, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the bad type where you just die. And that could be the case here. 11-9.
Swiftly moving on into round 21, Blur. We'll see if will be some of the terrible asphyxiation coming onto the server. We've got the AWP out for Flom. We've got the rifles in play, and touching back on a point you just kind of brought up, and not the point that we're we're going to avoid. It's definitely the map pick of Mythic. If they have nothing prepared on the T side, they are all banking on this defensive stride. They're hoping that they can do enough. You know, maybe a few rounds here and there. I said 5. That's what they got on the T side. But this CT side has to be perfect, right? They have to be really solid. And to pick Trim when you have 0 preparation on that T side, you've got to hope the CT side is good. And so far, it's been much better.
Timing is everything.
He's going to hear the utility, and then he'll just go. He just goes now. There we go. Headshot picked up. Davey easily picking that one up. And now he can fall away. 45 seconds left.
80. It's not a very quiet game here. Flashbang. It's actually going to blind us up. And she doesn't get to kill Rampage, though. On a Rampage. Finds 2. Cooper, good for 1. But now it's a 2v2 and Pawn alone waiting patiently, waiting for this flank door.
No.
He quick switches. Why would he quick switch? But it's okay. Because his teammate finds Flom, and it's all on Davey. He got the opening kill, and now he's got to get the clutch. Unfortunately for him, the AWP is trained directly on his position.
Davey looking for the 1v2 now. He will start to exit Pop Dog. Clearing out onto the bomb site. You've got one player tucked in the corner at Hell. And he's got so much utility available, but he wants to get this into the 1v1 fight. Davey turns around, catches out Pone alone, and now looking for the one remaining player. Incendiary's out in towards Connector, runs right past Sandwich, and that's exactly where his enemy will be. Ben coming around the corner. Hasn't actually peeked. Just wide enough to spot Davey, but he knows he's not on the bomb, and there we go. The tap again. Ben Lee winning the round out, and it's going to be 12 rounds for New England Whalers. The 1v2 going in favor of the New England Whalers side.
I really like how Davey played that. He waited and waited to a tie beat till the point where I think the player, the Opera team main, he started getting paranoid. It's like, wait, is it? I think it was Pawn alone. Yeah, it's like, wait, is he going to be flanking in all the way from T-spawn? It was all a ruse. Nice attempt from Davey, but New England Whalers, they finally get around. Unfortunately for them, because Mythic won a lot of their rounds very convincingly, they have a pretty hefty war chest, meaning the big guns are still going to be in play. Double AWPs, dual zoom bangers. The number of M4s is Flom with the flick, finds 1. He gets tagged on a 48, but he's going to make his escape.
Fantastic stuff from Flom over on this B bomb side. He's had a lot of moments now where he's actually done a lot of work, so I want to see more of this out of Flom. Davey and Flom have been playing really well together over on this B side of the map. The A-hole has been a little bit weaker for the Mythic side, I feel. That one round where Cooper just absolutely popped off with the scout, but respawn coming up into upper. It's going to allow the players to drop down into the site. Now Davey holding the cross. Oh, he whips the spray a little bit. A couple of bullets being landed. He flicks back and gets the headshot off onto Fang. But Flom and Davey both go down very quickly on this B site, and they have lost it completely. 3v3 post plant. Davey and Flom at least getting 1 kill each before falling. Now Cooper starts to walk forward, catches out DJ, running with his back turn, and Cooper nearly gets a second into the middle of the site. Katie following up, but now it's a 1v1 between Adren and Ben Lee.
Adren, aware that Ben might be so low and held, the Molotov's going to drop right on top of him. He's got to win the duel, and he's going to come out on top. Ben Lee trying his very best to clutch it out. But Mythic, man, the number of rounds we've seen with these 3v3s, 2v2s, most of the times they have come out on top. And now the deficit, it's down to 2 rounds. Money, still decently plentiful for the CD side. For the T side, though, it's going to be hard decisions to be made. Did they go for the full investment, which is doable, or did it just go for a few upgraded pistols and armor and maybe bits of utility? I think that would be the right call here. But Mythic, they're the ones who've called the timeout. It's the 3rd one of the round. And did I see an AK-47 over there? Yes, I did. They've gone for it, Dinko. It's not a full investment, though. Yeah, it's a hero AK with some pistols. Yeah.
Equalizing out the money. Making sure it's an average of around $2,000 in the bank for most players. And we will be looking at their chances into this round, saying there is a chance, Blair, but, you know, it may not be the most fantastic round for them. Mythic, I mean, they've been pretty impressive on that retake attempt on that B side there. I think that was actually pretty huge from them. Flom and Davey getting 1 each on the B hold is obviously fantastic work, but Cooper, man, he has been impressive. He's up there on top alongside a few of the players actually, 16, 15 kills near the top. Good team effort coming out of Mythic on this defensive half. 12 to 10. They should be getting 11 rounds here, most likely. Look to play into the A site. Adren's got the first kill. Fine, picking up the headshot. Pwn along through the smoke with a pistol. And now it's a 4v3.
Cooper finds the one, but Adren from above delivering death. And all of a sudden, it's all in Ben. His magic sneak is through to the backlines, Dinko. It's picked up an AWP. What's he going to do, though? He's got no Kevlar. The bomb's dropped right on the bomb site. All right, he's going to be checking for a... Is he going to save the op? It is.
Looks like he's
it makes
going to
sense.
carry that over.
Yeah, it makes sense. If you look at the math, if you do the math, he will get the... Yeah, he did get a full buy. He can just buy up some Kevlar for himself and a bit of utility. He can even toss it over to his teammate. I think Pawn alone is the one who's going to be opping. So yeah, it's a right call. If it's an AK or an M4, I'd be like, maybe not, but this makes sense. Look at the money for Mythic, though. It's so close. It's on the precipice of getting broken, but they're clinging on.
Seconds now, and just carrying that AWP over, no one really pressuring him. Not exactly the best economy to go and throw some of these weapons away, so you can definitely understand as to why Mythic are just sitting back and allowing the save to come through. Ben will carry this AWP into the next round, and they will get a fully fledged buy around it. You know, there's not really much risk involved in going for that investment in the previous round. You know, you get some damage in, you get the bomb down, you maybe have a chance of winning the round, but you're always going to get the buy coming into this one. And so we'll take a look at what we've got over here for the New England Whalers. It'll be the AWP out, the AKs. Utility will actually be good for once play, which is something they've kind of lacked here on this attacking side in the recent rounds.
Yeah, the thing is, what are you going to do with it, right? We saw an attempt at an execute there with the pistols. They went for the smokes on the bomb site. But Mythic, the problem is like the protocol to clearing out the angles, right? You have the protocol to, all right, you're going to clear this, you're going to clear this, we're going to clear this particular angle together, wait for the pop flash and whatnot. I don't think New England Whalers have done that much work on the T side to have those protocols in place, which is why we see, even though they have the smokes down, the executes as such when it comes down to clearing out the angles and taking over the site has looked kind of messy. But let's see what they have in store for us over here. Like you said, a lot of utility. The only thing missing here on the side of the on the T side is a kitchen sink. They have a lot of Molotovs, handful of smokes, 5 smokes, a lot of flashbangs as well. And it's going to be a faster play towards it. Davey, he's aware there are a number of players there, but they're not facing him. They're going to be wrapping around behind him, and Davey's paranoid. He needs to get to win the duel. He's got to find nothing. DJ Ravage is just going to mow everyone down, and that should be the call for the save. The money from Mythic is still quite abysmal.
Yeah.
And, well, okay. That wasn't even like a real execute. It just ran into the B bombs and just won all the duels.
It really does feel to me, like, even though from a viewer's perspective, we haven't really... We've seen a pretty good job being done by Davey and Flom over here on this B bomb side. But to me, based on what we've seen from New England Whalers and the fact that they keep hitting in towards this B bomb site, it signals to me that they've kind of figured that there's a weaker side here. Honestly, I feel like they're more comfortable heading into this B bomb side because every single time they've got a buyout, they definitely lean towards this side of the map. So perhaps that is the call from them. Perhaps they're feeling comfortable heading into that B site. Maybe that's where they've got most of their setups built around. But right now, it's certainly finding success. And Davey and Flom just get absolutely destroyed there.
Davey just wondering where they're going to face him, and they just avoid and just run around, wrap around. He should have at least gotten a 1 kill there, but unfortunately, it was not to be. Mythic, this is a very important round, Dinko. If they lose this, their money's going to be broken, and then it's going to be some hard decisions to be made. Do they force up? Do they won't have any money? In fact, they might have to go for the eco, and that would be the perfect opportunity for the Whalers to get to round number 15 and map point. 4 map points, in fact. So, I cannot emphasize how important, how crucial this round is. Katie looks away to avoid the flashbangs. She's going to have time to fade away. No, she's not. The second flash is perfection. Infinite Trend will get the trade. Davey from behind trying to get the timing right. Ravage just pushing on in there, mowing everyone down. It's a 2v3 as Flom does get a kill and is going to pull off the escape. But Cooper's position here, it hasn't been checked next to Green Train. And he's got to go big. Oh, this could be it.
Yeah, Cooper with the headshot. He will take down Ben lead. And well, it's down into 1v1. Cooper falls and Pone alone is looking to pull off this round. Time is ticking. Bomb taking away. Flom goes up towards heaven to spot a little bit of info, but now drops back down. One flashbang left, and this time ticking beyond relief. Flom has to go. Taps the bomb. Tries to pull him into the open, and Pone alone is playing this one well. Up the ladder, delays again. Missed shot. That's the round done. Flom cannot pick this up. Going for the kill, and a no-scope right through the brain. And it's 14-11 for the New England Whalers.
They need to save 14-15. Meanwhile, on the mainstream, Yeah Gaming. Yeah, just one round away from taking the map, the first map. I'm not too sure whose pick that is. That's of course going on Twitch.tv, DreamHack CS. Right now, though, Mythic, they have a decision to make. I thought they would go for the full Eco Dinko, just so they'd have enough money for the final, well, for the next round. Instead, they're going to go for the Force Buy. I don't know about this. If they don't pull this off with that MP9, double scouts, and the two, they've done it earlier. Yes, they did. But if they don't replicate that success, they're going to be screwed. They're going to have to go for yet another similar buy. And it's going to be easy pickings for New England Whalers.
Yeah, well, it's all about the risk. You know, Mythic play with no fear. They just want to go into this one and find themselves success in whatever kind of buy they've got. And they might just do it here. Who knows? Cooper's good on the scout. We'll see if he can shut them down again. He did it a little earlier on. Against a very different buy, I will say. But nonetheless, New England Whalers are going around the back lines. They've already smoked off Ivy. DJ has the bomb, and Davey nearly winning that duel. If he had brought down the bomb, then maybe a little bit of a better chance there for Mythic. But he falls and at least spots the bomb. But look at the big wrap around people. This is the big wrap. The big B wrap. And, well, they're going to try and find it. Flom is taking down a double. Katie on the decoy as well, and suddenly Mythic are in with a chance.
A very real chance indeed. Katie, she's so quiet so far. Ben, he's unaware. Katie's aware of where they're going to be coming in from. I don't know if she spotted out both the players. Deagle in hand. Needs to win this duel. She's doing so much damage. Almost gets the kill, but she doesn't in the end. Ben down to 8 points of health. But the MP9 from Cooper, one bullet on the little toe. That's going to be enough to take down Ben. Smoke deployed. Bomb will be retrieved by Ben. And Cooper, breathing in the fumes, is going to run on out. Unfortunately, he's given away his position. The shot is going to be missed. Oh, never mind. Pawn alone with a Tech 9. Rips his head off. That got a little too scary for New England Whalers, but they'll hold on. 15-11. And Mythic, the money is in the dumpster.
Well, there was always a risk involved in that play, right? And they nearly pull it off. Imagine the world in which they get it over the line. Imagine the world in which they have money to play with going into this one.
That's what tilts me, is the fact that their CD side has generally been pretty good. I mean, they were mounting this comeback, right? They were looking fantastic on these buy rounds when they have the weapons. So even if New England Whalers get to 15 rounds, if Mythic, even if it's going to be 15-11, if they had the guns, the right guns to work with, the rifles, the M4s and whatnot, they could have clawed it back. I can believe in Mythic winning 4 in a row and taking us to overtime. But that
they can still do it, Blah.
You're a believer, aren't you? You young, naive.
No, I'm just saying. I'm not saying what my opinion is. I'm just stating the fact. You know, it is possible that they could do it.
It isn't a relative possibility, 100%. It's just that the odds are definitely not in their favor. Aggression. This is exactly what they need to do.
Oh, here goes
running out. Oh, good flash.
Yeah, fantastic flash from his teammate. And Flom completely blinded by Cooper. But nonetheless, 15-11. An advantage of players. Davey starts to run up, and he whiffs the spray. DJ turning around. He's being fed in these brown holes over and over again. And now they'll be looking for their 16th round over the board.
Yeah, relying too much on the individuals going for these, well, solo plays.
Don't know what else they have to rely on, though, Blah. That's the problem.
Well, either teaming up together, maybe doubling
that could have
up.
worked. You know, Blah.
At least get a trade, right?
You live and die by this playstyle. And there's another one. Katie going out, swinging long range with an MP9, I believe she had, and she will lose the battle against the AK-47. And now it's going to be a Dren and Cooper. The last two remaining players. Cooper has spotted one player right in front of him. He's going to be following in behind. Going to see if he can get a better position here. He could bring down one player, an AWP into his hands, and potentially a chance in the round. But he's got to get this kill quickly. And Cooper goes around. The headshot picked up. And now the AWP into his hands. He needs kills quickly. Misses the shot. Now needs to rely on a little bit of space being made by a Dren. And that will not happen. So Cooper is now out of here. It's 16-11. The New England Whalers would take map number 1 here. A little bit prolonged going into the second half, but they've got their opponent's map pick out of the way.
Smiles abound as well. They definitely look like the better team, I won't lie. Now, despite it not being the map pick, yes, they didn't really have any ideas in that first half, but they did show up in the second indeed. But there you have it. New England Whalers, they take the win. A bit of a disappointment, I feel, from Mythic. I feel like they could have shown more on their T side. I'm sorry, I think I got the names mixed up in my head, but they could have done a little bit more on the T side considering it was their map pick. And that forced by, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. They had to play 2 rounds back-to-back with pistols and MP9s instead of having rifles. And they just needed to win 4 in a row, which we're doing pretty convincingly on its CD side. So there you have it. It is going to be New England Whalers winning map number 1, the pick from Mythic.
Well, we're going to be taking a little closer look at what went wrong for the Mythic side here on Train after the break. So make sure you don't go anywhere. We'll be breaking down Train after this. Map 1 concludes with New England Whalers the victors. It's Mythic's map pick, and it doesn't go their way. New England Whalers show a good game in the second half. Mythic tried to bounce back, but it's just not enough. It's time to get into map number 2, but before that, we're going to break things down here, Blood. There's a lot to break down in terms of the second half. The first half, though, just seemed like the New England Whalers show.
Yeah, it did. I feel like the first half could definitely have been better. It was 4 rounds in a row for the side of Mythic. Then we saw this round from Cooper where they were just feeding him basically. But then some of these plays we saw. That's the thing. That was a frustrating and kind of annoying thing for me for the side of New England for the side of Mythic was there were rounds with some of the setups which were really good. Like the inner bomb that setup, like you mentioned earlier, was really well done. It was shutting it down. And then you have a couple of rounds where they're just going for this individual duel, just running on up. And the final 2 rounds is something I just want to just bleach from my mind. Like that decision to go for the 4-spy. Shouldn't have done that. And then the final round, you have this MP9s. I know you want to aggress, but alone against the rifles when they're playing the long range, I mean, not the smartest of ideas. So there you go.
I mean, a lot of the decision making was a little bit questionable from Mythic, but I mean, coming into it, we knew what to expect. You know, Davey said coming into this that they did no preparation whatsoever. They felt comfortable playing against New England Whalers, but didn't really work out for them on map number 1. Train out the window. I don't really know how I feel about a train pick coming in for Mythic. I feel like it's a very adept map, and if you're going and you're just relying on one half of Counter-Strike to get you through, I don't think that's enough, Bled.
It's not enough at all. Although I feel like if you have 5 rounds on the T side, that's still something to work with. They managed to pull that off, right? It's just that once New England Whalers started going on a streak, the economic decisions being made by them, by the side of Mythic weren't ideal. CD side economy is hard to maintain as well. And I got to give credit to New England Whalers. They did a very good job in that in the latter part of that second half to kind of wake up, because honestly, it looked like Mythic was just going to mount the comeback and run away with the game. But Whalers did a very good job bouncing back, abusing some of the setups that Mythic had. Also doesn't help for the side of Mythic that Katie had a very quiet game uncharacteristically, which is unfortunate. And in the end, yeah, that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Yeah, had a pretty quiet game indeed. I think if you're Mythic and you're relying only on the individual skill of your team, you can't really have anybody kind of missing out. And I think throughout that first half, there was just too many quiet performances coming in from Mythic. You could really figure out what they needed to do. When they went over to the defensive side, they also didn't get off to a great start. I feel like it was New England Whalers. They kind of got in their own heads a little bit, and they entered that A bomb side. They just rushed down the pop dog ladder right into Cooper's scout, and he gets 3 kills. Like, you can definitely see the individual skill on Mythic. It's just they need to play off each other a little better.
Yeah, and that usually happens when you practice together as a team, which Davey mentioned they haven't done. So there you have it. It was a pretty scrappy affair. We do, of course, have the you know, a little bit of some news for you, rather, for the upcoming events we have for IEM. There's one event I'm looking forward to, and of course, it is going to culminate at the end of the year. It's a bit of a disappointment for me, Tinko, that it's not going to be on land, but you know, obviously safety and health comes first. But look at these teams.
Yes, the culmination of CSGO, the Intel Extreme Masters Global Challenge, will be taking place between the 15th of December and the 20th. It's going to be Furia, Heroic, Vitality, Chaos, Liquid, Astralis, Complexity, and Navi. Now, that is a stacked tournament. I'm really looking forward to seeing that one in action, Bled.
I am. I think all of us are going to be ready to watch that one. I feel a little bad for Chaos, because watching them yesterday against Rugrats and they're struggling, and then you look at all these names and you're like, wait, one of these guys don't really belong there. I don't want to say belong there. Of course they belong there because they did qualify, but it is going to be an uphill battle. And you know what? Even if they get one single win, I think it's going to be massive for the team overall, because those names are some very, very, very scary names.
Yeah, I think Chaos will surprise a lot of people. They've been looking real good this year, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they can do. It's going to be a big battle for them, though. This tournament is the end of the year, right? It's the end of CSGO 2020. What a wild ride it's been, Blair.
I can't believe it's December. Like, I stepped into my house when the lockdown happened. It was March. I opened the door, and it's cold outside. It's gloomy, and everyone's like, oh, everyone's wearing like Christmas caps and whatnot, and I'm like, what the hell happened the past few months? I don't know. It's just been a blur of Counter-Strike and loneliness.
Well, the Counter-Strike continues here at DreamHack Masters Winter. After the break, we'll be getting into map number 2. New England Whalers will be taking on Mythic right after the break. Don't go anywhere.